Okay, Parker Allen, lesson number 2. Spent the first lesson really changing his posture. He was severely low with his hands, a lot of spine tilt, and set some focus on standing a little taller, get those hands up a little bit. Not surprising, had a little bit of an over-exaggeration, as you can see on the bottom here. This bottom video, just very severe exaggeration there of the standing up, and also if we continue to the top here, worked on his takeaway as well. As you can see, takeaway here is a lot better. Before, the club head was working more outside of his hands, so now it's working more inside. And in addition to that, it's actually a really nice, pretty decent club face position, so we're pretty happy with that. Position at the top, however, if we actually take a look at his backside, draw that right there. As you can see, very heavy dip on the backswing, a lot of excess knee motion, but the knees aren't really pivoting rather, but more just kind of dipping down, kind of squatting, and that really limits that body from rotating properly, gets that club up into that position at the top there. Now if we take a look at this top video, let's draw a little better line here, there's a better line, hip position. You can see also too, posture now way better, way more athletic, just a better position overall. Takeaway is still very good. Face is pretty good there. But then up to the top, see, much more limited now on the squat. So a lot better position at the top there. That's the top of his backswing. Try to zoom in a little bit, get a little better position. There we go. Huge difference there just in the position at the top. Now, as we start to go down, continue to draw lines here. There we go. So one thing that Parker and I had talked about was understanding plane a little bit today, and the benefits of getting that club more shallow, aka also known as kind of getting into the slot. And if we look on this one right here, still progress, but much better. Whereas with this one, you can see, just because he went so vertical, getting into the slot is very, very difficult. Now his hands kind of stay in it. But let's just look at a couple positions here. So right here, you want to talk about the separation or the gap from head to club, from head to head. As you can see, the top one, much wider gap there, so that means that we're creating a lot more of a shallow motion, a shallow transition. And then in addition to that too, this face is a little more open, this one's a little more closed, right? So coming in steeper on the bottom as opposed to this top one where he's coming in a lot more shallow. Okay, so we just get rid of all the lines here. Now what we are continuing to work on is that head motion, getting this to stay down a little bit more. As you can see, it starts to kind of pull up at impact, but we compare that to this one on the bottom, right? We take a look at just impact position alone. Try to draw it back, that's about as close as we're going to get, we'll go right there. Okay, so take a look at impact position here. Good position of that lower leg, really good spot there. As you can see, this one's working a little bit more, not as good. And then just the spine position alone, as you can see, body's not really turning here. This one now we're actually starting to get a nice full rotation around through impact. Then we take a look at the rear. He hit this one a little fat, so you can see his hands are kind of holding on a little bit, but he also hit the bottom one fat, so just for comparison purposes. That club is exiting right about through his face, right through his chin. This one kind of does the same. But we take a look at the release pattern here. Face is remaining just a little more square, but also really hard to tell just because it wasn't as solid of a strike. But overall, a much better motion, much better transition. You kind of go all the way back to the beginning here and just watch them. It's kind of one sequential motion. You can see the top one definitely just has a much smoother overall motion to it, so Really good work, Parker. Excited for the next lesson. We're going to start continuing to work on impact a little more. But just this huge difference from bottom one to top one is really impressive stuff. So just keep up the good work, all right, buddy?